Hey guys, welcome to the exploration of Fort Pulaski. This is an island fortress known as impenetrable. Little bit of history, little bit of mystery. Let's get going. What if I told you this invincible stronghold fell in just 30 hours, shattering centuries-old military strategy, built to withstand anything, but a new weapon exposed its fatal flaw. Therefore, this wasn't just a Union victory, it changed warfare forever. But the fort's story didn't end there. After its fall, it became a Union prison for Confederate soldiers, and its walls sheltered enslaved people seeking freedom, turning it into a key site in the Underground Railroad. Therefore, what hidden lessons still linger within these walls? Join us as we uncover the enigmatic legacy of Fort Pulaski. This is the place where military technology and tactics changed during the Civil War. Not to mention the guy named after this fort was an American hero, not born in America. We got a lot more to get into. Let's go. So I'm leaving Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm driving 4 hours to Fort Pulaski in Georgia to find out why this invincible fort fell in 30 hours. So about 40 minutes away from Savannah, Georgia, you're going to come right here to Cockspur Island. Now this island actually was very tiny when they built this. They brought in a lot of dirt and mud and they expanded it. So it's a lot bigger today than it was in the past. So the big question, why was this fort impenetrable? First off, the location. This was placed on Cockspur Island. Very difficult terrain to attack, to bring artillery close, as you can see. And as we look down on the fort, the walls extremely thick, 7.5 feet thick all the way around, and not to mention 32 feet high in some areas. So just the defensive capabilities, not to mention moats, drawbridges, and angled walls. This fort started construction in 1829. It finished up in 1847, 18 years later. It took 25 million bricks to actually make the fort, and a lot of this, almost all of it, was slave labor. So April 10th, 1862, you have the Confederates inside. The Union soldiers were about 1.5 miles away near Tybee Island. They had 36 big guns. They started the assault. 30 hours later, took out one of the sections of the wall, and immediately after that, the 30 hours, the Confederates right here surrendered. So the fort was destroyed in 30 hours, but we need to go all the way back to the beginning and figure out what exactly was the weapon used to do this. So at the time of the attack in April of 1862, Union troops were outside. They had a plan for a bombardment with artillery, but through military technology, it was actually a spiraled cannon. So this gave them a lot more accuracy, a lot more destruction, and within 30 hours of the bombardment, the Confederate soldiers surrendered. Now the southeast angle of the fort actually basically collapsed just about. You could see right into the gunpowder room, the powder keg room, and the colonel of this fort on the Confederate side, he knew that if one more cannonball went in there, the whole fort would explode. And so he decided to surrender shortly after, ending the battle within 30 hours. Now it's kind of hard to see, but just above me, some of the shots of the cannonballs from the Union forces are still lodged within the walls. There's one cannonball in particular, it's very hard to see, kind of a dark brown that's stuck in there. And so you can see where all the cannonballs came in and really destroyed it. Obviously, they built it back up again. So this place is just gigantic, goes all the way around. I don't think I've been to a fort that you can actually walk around the whole thing. Reminds me a little bit of a castle in Europe, but definitely an amazing design here right off the water. One of the more interesting things, when this fort was taken over by the Union soldiers in April 10th, 1862, they freed all the slaves in this area. Not only this area, Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. So after this battle in 1862, the military tactics completely changed. How forts were built, now with the new type of artillery, they'd have to change the design. How battle groups came in. Instead of being densely packed together, now they're spread out. So this changed everything. So if you're curious about the man that's named after Fort Pulaski, it's Kazimierz Pulaski. Now he was a Polish nobleman that came over, believed in the American cause, wanted to fight the British, actually at some point saved General Washington, George Washington, and later he actually died at the Siege of Savannah in the Revolutionary War, not far from here. And so he died going into battle. He was known as the Father of Cavalry. One of the more intriguing facts about this place, after this place was taken over by the Union, they freed all the slaves in the area, and a lot of the slaves then became part of the military. They had their own brigades and things like that. And then it was also attached to the Underground Railroad, which is vital for African American history. That's going to wrap it up here for Traveling on the Go in this episode. Thanks so much if you got all the way to the end of the episode. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, I am here to help you out. You never know unless you try. Take care, guys.